So this is the Excalibur center fall section. More precisely, 7/8 of it. One of our guys is a little sick, so he's in bed. My man Keegan here is a little sick too, but he stuck it out through here. So our route was pretty similar to the Northern Lights Center Falls trip. We went up from Langskib, paddled into Diamond, up, did some portaging, went up the Lady Evelyn River to Center Falls. We camped there. It's actually a pretty burly portage into Center Falls. We learned a lot about teamwork coming up those cliffs. A lot of guys couldn't get up with Wanigans by themselves, so we were, 2, 3 manning a Wanigan, really working together. Lots of 1, 2, 3s on the way up there. Played around, swam in the waterfall a bit. Then we decided we had enough, so we went back downstream. Went around, camped at the Diamond Death March. Did that again. Learned a lot about teamwork on the Portage Trail. Learned a lot about pushing ourselves as well. Then we came across Diamond, and from there we were at the whim of James. I don't know if James is here, but we were on a treasure hunt. So we paddled all around Temagami looking for treasure. And you may see on some of these guys, these necklaces, these were our treasure that we found. All of the Excalibur guys did. So that's part of the physical journey. But what we're going to do now is we're each going to introduce ourselves and tell you something we learned and a little story about how we learned it. So my name's Matt Barber, and on the Diamond Death March, I learned that you should never let your guard down just because you've done something before.
I'm Keegan Dovich, and I learned that how to stay in the present.
I'm Jonah Kilden, and I learned to always tuck in your ground tarp, because one night in Center Falls, it really started to rain. It was probably the day where we had the worst tent setup, and our tent got soaked. No, really, if you put your hand down on the ground of the tent, it felt like a waterbed.
I'm Vince Lalonde, and I learned that sometimes if you don't know if you can do something, you should try anyways.
I'm Cicero Paul, and I learned that the attitude you take determines the path you make. Because last year I was a bit bummed at first, but then this year I was actually pretty happy to do it. So it just went a lot faster and much better.
I'm Scott Fleming. And the lesson I learned was that if you don't push yourself, you're never going to get better.
My name is Adriano Maestri, and I learned that the speed at which things gets done is not always important. From getting out of camp every morning, sometimes it takes a while.
Yeah, so that's the Center Falls crew. That's most of it.